Good morning. We're just setting up because we've managed to acquire a few more materials to carry on with our wood store project. So we're going to put in another row of pillars today, and well, at least we're going to make a start on putting in another row of pillars today to help shore up the roof and provide us infrastructure for creating internal bays. So we're accumulating some of the materials we need. These are our columns. So we're going to mark out where we want them to go. We're going to put a stake in to mark the position, and then we've got a little hand auger, a very different machine than the one we used last time, but a similar principle. And we're going to dig the post holes, and then we're going to erect the posts. There's actually a lot to it, so I'm not sure how far we'll get today, but I will keep you abreast. Phase 1 is complete. You may or may not be able to see this row of sticks, which is marking where we're going to put... marking where we're going to put the columns. Will's just said that the gap between them should be sufficiently wide to get his car up through it. We had wanted a space wide enough to get at least the lawnmower and the trailer up through it to deliver and collect wood, but possibly his car will go up too, which would be great. Anyway, now we've marked where the columns are going to go. We've got a row along here. We're not going to put a row here, but we've got one either end for the wall return, which is going to be 2 panels of metal wide. Now I just have to dig the holes, put the posts up, cut the notch in the post so it'll go on there, and then attach it to the roof beam. How hard can that be? So now we have our posts in position. We dug a small guide hole, and then you would have seen Will using the bigger auger bit to dig the wider hole for the poles. Will's marked out where he needs to cut them in order to make a notch like he did on these ones, so they can sit with the beam on top of them. Once that's been done, he's going to use my the battery powered chainsaw to do that. Once that's done, all we need to do is attach them, and that's our work here done for the day. So there we have it. What we have achieved this morning is we have dug the post holes for these additional supports, which, just to reiterate, we space from the walls 2 pieces of metal wide on either side at the front and the back. We then erected the posts, and we'll cut out notches so that the roof timber can sit on them, and then attach them to the roof timbers. So what we have here are bays that we're going to put off the ground floors on, at least the ones further up there, so that our firewood isn't sitting on the ground. And then this side will be for Will's woodworking wood, so he doesn't need the bays. But this will help us divide the firewood into when it was felled, so that we're always burning the wood that's most seasoned. That may be all that we can get done this weekend until we acquire more materials, which we might acquire tomorrow, but I don't think we'll have the time to actually do anything with them. If we do, I will of course show you what we've achieved, but this may be as far as we go this weekend. We've set aside this post here for another project that I'll keep up my sleeve for now, but when we crack on with that, which may in fact be tomorrow, I will show you what we're doing and explain why. Something quite probably a kangaroo has disturbed this ant's nest. It's got this, afforded us this exciting opportunity to glimpse inside one. You can just make out all the little chambers and stuff. Anyway, I'm going to leave them to it. They're frantically rebuilding. Good morning. You join me on yet another glorious summer's morning. Yes, that was sarcasm. But I'm off to introduce you to our latest project. I alluded to it previously, but we have now got it underway. So I thought, let's go and take a quick look, because I've got a bit of work to do down there this morning. As I walk through the garden to get there, this is a bit of a clue for those of you who know the property. This is the entrance to the house garden, and you may have noticed something was missing. And what was missing is this gate, because we have finally got around to breaking the fence. This is one of our boundary fences. So this is the fence line here. You may not be able to see it so clearly. And this part of the fence was always a bit dodgy anyway. So it seemed like a good place to put a gate. And the reason that I want to do that is that this fire break here is on state forest property. And this fire break is maintained by the relevant authorities. You can probably see the vehicle tyre tracks going up and up the hill. And then I turn around, you can see that it goes down and it carries on up the hill and skirts around our property and comes out on the main road. So about once a year they send down a big digger and they clear all of this, which means that this provides our secondary access to the road, an alternative than our drive. But also it provides access from the road to our property. That's an alternative from the drive. And I've thought for a while that in a poor bushfire season, having two access points might be better than having one if a tree fell on our drive, for example. And the drive is over 1 kilometre long and it is tree lined, so that's not unfeasible. So in terms of both getting in and getting out, albeit I do acknowledge this is difficult and there's no way I'd get out in my car, but we may get out in Will's, as at least it gives us the option. So far, all that we've done is obviously we've broken the fence. It's lying down there waiting to be reattached to the gate posts. I cleared this area to provide better ability to see what's going on in terms of access, and then obviously we dug the post holes and we put in these posts. This one's bigger because this one is going to be the post that the gate is mounted on so that it swings downhill. And this one is just going to be what the latch goes on to keep the gate in place, so it doesn't have to bear as much weight. We've got these other little posts which we're going to use as bracing to help the poles stay upright from all the force that they're going to be under. And then we'll eventually hang the gate. So we're reusing a gate that we already have. And the reason that I don't mind sacrificing that is that the gate was never shut anyway. None of our gates are shut. The purpose of shutting the gates, I think, was to keep the wallabies out. They get in anyway, so that was basically completely pointless. And as I say, I don't keep them shut anyway. And so I thought that rather than springing for a new gate, we'd just reuse that one. And we're just using materials that we already have to hand. So again, it's another inexpensive project, but I hope will bring us some good strong benefits come an emergency situation. It rained and rained and rained yesterday. This place is actually bedded into concrete. Again, because of the weight of the gate. It's not sort of a modern lightweight gate, it's a very, very, very heavy gate. And it rained and rained and rained. The concrete's been down for a few days now, but I did want to protect it a little bit from the worst ravages of the rain. But I'm going to remove its little jacket. I'm now going to then also try and put some of this spoil back into the hole and tamp it down. And then we'll give it another few days, week or so, before we move on to the second stage, which is to put up the brace and redo the wires. And then we may give it another week or two after that before we eventually hang the gate, just to make sure this is at maximum strength. So that's what I'm cracking on with this morning. I've just been returning these pavers to the pile of rubble that we have up near the house. I thought I'd quickly show you this. This is something that Will did a week or two ago. I don't know how we'll be able to see, but basically this is Will's workshop, and this part of the building's where our solar power equipment is, our battery and the inverter and stuff. And Will's workshop had been very prone to flooding. You may or may not be aware that it's been unexpectedly wet summer so far for us, rather like the last few summers, and so it's rained and rained and rained, and the ground is pretty saturated now, so there's not really anywhere for the water to go. So it runs off the surface really quite quickly, and the soil is very sodden. So the water was getting into Will's workshop and flooding the floor. But the problem there was that the floor was actually above the ground level outside here. The soil was above the level of Will's damp-proof course, which is here. So obviously the water was just getting in, and these are mud bricks, so they're pretty porous, I would say. So when he couldn't take it anymore, he came out actually in the pouring rain one morning before he went to work, and he dug this channel out so that now the level of the ground outside is below floor level inside. And when he did it, actually, this was just like a stream of water. The soil was just so saturated. It's just running and running, so no wonder it was flooding. So anyway, we now have this, which we're going to need to think about what we're going to do about. There are some concrete sort of pipes that you can buy. One edge is flat and the other edge is curved, and I use those as little bridges. They're designed to be used the other way around as like a channel, but may think about using some of those so that we don't have this great big gash in the lawn, which is a little bit of a hazard. Anyway, that's for down the line. I'm off now to carry on with the gate work. Not gonna lie, that didn't work as well as I thought, but just goes to show, if I walk along here a bit, you might be able to hear. The ground's so wet, the water table is basically surface level. So, and now of course, this is sitting on a layer of concrete. So there's nowhere really for it to go until it can drain away, I guess, through the soil around it. So anyway, I'm going to bale that, and then I'm going to chuck this on. Look! Sorry, this won't mean anything to you, but it will to Will, because we were using the post hole digger that we borrowed, and the switch fell off, and we thought, oh, bugger it. That's that gone forever. In amongst that lot somewhere, or underground, but I actually managed to find it. What are the chances of that? Maybe today's going to be a good day after all. Anyway, yes, let's get on with putting this in there. There we go then. I guess sort of phase one, I think, of that, because the soil is so squashy, it's not really possible to compact it too tightly. It's just sort of moving about, sliding on top of each other. There's quite a lot of clay content in that, so sort of sliding around rather than squashing down. But we're not due rain like that for a while now, so hopefully the moisture will drain out of it, or will slowly start to dry out. Then I'll be able to repound it even more tightly and then top it up with what's left of the spoil, and then hopefully that'll be that. Obviously I can't leave it too long because I don't want that to totally dry out, but since it is so wet, I thought we might go and have a quick look at the creek. We haven't done that for a while. Sorry, I keep looking down. It's because I'm walking along our fire break and I need to be a bit careful about where I put my feet. I don't want to trip over. That would be terrible. Anyway, yes, so let's go down and have a quick look at the creek and see how that's looking after all this additional rain we've had. There we go. This point here actually is where the fire break crosses the creek. So as you can see, not even sure the Brumby would get up there in this weather, but then by the same token, if it was this rainy, it's highly unlikely there'd be a bushfire anywhere nearby, so swings and roundabouts. Let's go and see what the ambience is like in the section of the creek walk where I've earmarked putting a bench. Ah, very nice. It's more sort of dappley. And off it goes to our swimming pool and beyond. This is a nice spot. The next time you see us will be at the Australian Open, or en route at least to the Australian Open. So I will catch up with you there next week. I hope you have excellent weekends if you have them, and I will see you at the tennis. Bye for now.